This card was created by Jennifer McGuire using a stamp set and a die cutting set. So there's little metal dies and a stamp set. So she made this card. It's a pop-up card. It's what the top of it looks like. We're going to try to recreate a fishbowl pop-up card just using our Cricut design space. And as you can see, my design space, or my internet page, I guess you could say, is not full screen. I would like to make that full screen so this menu bar up here will be able to show everything that is available to me. So I'm going to go up to this little green button up here and I'm going to make my screen full screen. First we're going to go down to the shapes panel and I'm going to drop down a square. I'm going to take this square and I'm going to change the color to whatever color I want my background of my card to be. So let's make the background yellow. I'm going to take this square and I'm going to resize it by going up to here into the size section of my bar up here. And I'm going to change the width and the height. So I want the width to be 6.50 and I want the height to be 5. So I want it 6.5 by 5. Oh, I didn't unlock it, so it didn't change it. So make sure you unlock it first up here. Unlock it, or unlock it from over down here. And change it to 6.50 by 5. Okay. Now I need to put 4 score marks within this card so I can make that the 3D effect of the card base. I need 1 score mark to be a 1/2 inch from each end and another score mark to be 1 inch from each end. So that makes it at a 1/2 inch, 1 inch from this end, a 1/2 inch, and 1 inch from this end. First I'm going to just take the shape of a score line. I want my score line to be the same height as my card panel, so I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change the height to 5. Hit enter. Now my score line is the exact height that I want it to be. The easiest way to get placement of the score mark is to take your card base or whatever image you're using and put it all the way up here in the corner. So we're going to go to the position and we're going to put it in 0 by 0. So your X and your Y is your position. And that means height and width. So your width and your height is your X and your Y. So now we're going to take that first score mark that we dropped in here and sized, and we want it to be at the 1/2 inch mark. Now I could just take this up here and carefully line it up here the best I can, but the easiest way to do that is to highlight your score mark, go up to the position again. Now we already know that our square is in the corner, and so we need this score mark to be 1/2 inch in. So we're going to, for our X position, we're going to put it at 0.50, so that's a 1/2 inch in. And then our Y position needs to be all the way up the top, so that's a 0 position. Now it's exactly where I want it to be. Now I'm going to duplicate that score line, and I'm going to hit it twice. I'm going to take that second score line, and I know that that one I need it to be in the 1 position because I need it 1 inch from the end by 0. I'm going to take the third score mark and I need it to be 1/2 inch from this end and 1 inch from this end. So that would make this third score mark at the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. so 5 1/4. So that position needs to be at 5.25 by 0. And then we need to duplicate it one more time, and that score mark needs to be a 1/2 inch from this end here. So the score mark needs to be at 5.75, 5.75 and 0. If my math is right. Oh, as you can see, I'm a little off. So my card base needs to be 6.25, sorry, by 5. All right, now we're right. So card base, 6.25 by 5. And I'm going to attach. I'm going to bring this over here. And I'm going to need 2 of these. So I'm going to drop down another one. And there's my second one. So now let's make our fishbowl. We're going to go down to our shapes again. We're going to hit a circle and a square. I'm going to take that circle and that square, going to resize the square so we can make a little base for our fishbowl. We're going to connect the 2 together, and we're going to align horizontal, and then we're going to weld. All right, so that really don't look like a fishbowl yet. We have the rounded fishbowl part, and we have the base. But most fish bowls have a flat top or a cute little swirly top. We're just going to do a straight top for now. You can make little swirls by putting some hearts together or whatever you'd like. I'm just going to go here. Let's see, how big do I want my fish bowl? Let's see, this big? Let's do that big. So by holding on my square and my fishbowl together, I can now slice. To pull my fishbowl away, I'm going to highlight the rest of the pieces and delete them. Size my fishbowl. Let's see, let's do our fishbowl 4 inches wide by 3 inches high. Okay, that looks good to me. All right, it's over here. Move this one out of the way. Take my fishbowl. Now I want to highlight both of these, and I want to align it horizontal. Then I want my fishbowl to live. That's about 1/4 inch from the bottom. Let's move it down a little bit more, and you can move it down by hitting your arrow keys. We don't want to take too much of this panel out, otherwise it would be a very weak card. So that looks good. So now let's highlight the both and let's slice. But if you notice, we cannot slice. And the reason is our card base has these score marks in it. So let's go back to the card base, and we're going to highlight and detach. Now our fishbowl is still there. It's behind the panel. So we're going to click on this score mark, hold the command key down, second score mark, third score mark, and fourth score mark. That means I am connecting all 4 score marks together by highlighting them all with the shift key. And if you see right here on this panel, all 4 of the score marks are highlighted. And then you're going to do attach. Now I could drag this out of the way, but then I'm not going to know exactly where to put it back. So I'm just going to leave it where it is. I'm going to go up to my layers panel, and I'm going to hide the attached score marks. Now we have our card panel. And I'm going to come over and click on the card panel, and I'm going to arrange to the back. And I'm going to highlight the card panel and my fishbowl, and I'm going to slice. We have one panel and two panels. So there we sliced this fishbowl out of the card base. So that's why we have that second fishbowl, is because it came out of this piece. So now I'm going to go back to the card base, and I want to bring back my score marks. So I'm going to go over to my layers panel to where it says the attached set, and I'm going to unhide them. Now if you look at that, it may look like, oh my gosh, they're gone. I don't know what happened to them. Just click on your top layer, which is your card base right now, and we're going to arrange that to the back. There's our score marks. Now we're going to highlight the card base and the score marks again, and we are going to attach them back together. So now we have our front panel. So this panel is our back panel. This is where we're going to take that fishbowl and we're going to put it. We're going to glue it onto the back panel here. So we have a fishbowl. And if you want to, you can have that, draw that line on that panel, but I would prefer to cut out a fishbowl. That way it will help with giving the card a little bit more stability. But what I want to do is I want to make it just a shade lighter. So if you have two different color yellows, that would be perfect. Or two different color, actually I'm not liking that color on here, but let's go. I want it to be lighter. Yeah, that's better. Make it look pretty. All right. So this is our front. This is our inside, our back panel. Now this one here, I'm going to make this the water that's going to sit inside the fishbowl. Okay. So we want to make this blue. Let's make it blue. I want to make it a really light blue. Or you make it really dark blue. Let's see, what color blue water we want. Even though our fishbowl water is usually clear. Like that. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to take another shape. Let's do let's do a heart. So I'm going to do a heart. Let's move my fishbowl out of my heart. Duplicate. 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 Trying to make some waves. If you have a better way to make waves, go ahead. If you have an image you've already downloaded that can make waves, or they are waves, you can use that. If you have a free image, you could use that. I just want to try to use all shapes in here to see how this goes. And then I'm going to weld my hearts together. Okay. Now I'm going to make them a smaller size and bring my fish tank back down, or my fish bowl, my water. And I want my water to be maybe about that height. I'm going to take my hearts and I'm going to flip them. And a little bit more. Maybe we can do a slight angle. Sure, why not? Highlight the two of them and we're going to slice. We're going to pull our water away. Bring it up here in the fish bowl. Highlight the pieces we don't need anymore and delete. Now, we could, if you really wanted to be a little fancy, make it just a snag bit smaller. Let's see if that looks right. To make it look like the glass has some thickness to it, I guess. Yeah, sure, why not? All right, so there we have our fish bowl with our water. our back card base and our front card base. Okay. Now we need some fish. Let's just highlight these and put them to the side. Let's do a shape. You can do any type of fish you want. Take one circle, unlock it, and make it like an oval shape. Or you can make a fat fish. Sure, let's make a fat fish. Do the heart. We're going to flip the heart. This is going to be its fin. I'm going to put the fin here, right? Make it a little smaller, his fin. And this is going to be his eyeball. Black. I'm going to arrange this to the back. Arrange my heart. Arrange to the back. Okay, and then we're going to make this. Let's make him orange. Orange. Make the body orange. Okay. Then we need what, fins here? Sure. Oh, attack. Let's do another heart. Okay. Unlock it. Make it small. Bring it down. I'm not sure if that looks like fins, but we're gonna go with it. And we're going to make that. Let's make it a lighter orange. We're gonna arrange that to the back. Okay. We're going to duplicate that. I'm gonna bring that here. And we're going to flip it. Oop. Okay, that really wasn't exactly what I wanted, but that's close enough. And we're going to arrange it to the back. Cool. Now we need, what are those things called? Gills? I don't know. I don't know fish. I'm gonna do another shape. Let's do 2 hearts. Put the heart together like so. And I want those pieces to touch, don't we? Let's get those pieces to touch. Okay. Then we're gonna highlight those, right? And we're going to weld them. Yeah, good enough. Now we need to flip it, right? And we need to make it smaller. And let's make that another shade of orange. Okay. Highlight the whole thing. And we just want to group it together. You can attach these, but I kind of like it to make it 3D, so I want the little pieces to cut out separately. And I can glue them together. And this is going to go wherever on your fish tank. Now that we have our fish bowl and our card base made, I would like to take the top base, the front of our card, and have it write something up here. So I'm going to go to the text, and I'm going to go up here. And I want it to be something I already own. So I'm going to go up to Filter, My Fonts, and let's just go in the Cricut fonts. Let's do, I really like the way Cake Basics font comes out in writing. Have a fin. Come on, you didn't even start typing, darn it. Take basics. We do want it in a writing style. Let's do writing italic. Ooh, I like that. Have a fantastic, and here's where you can write. It's going to change my spelling, but I'll fix that in a minute. You can write birthday, you can have day, you can have whatever it is you want it to write. I'm just going to write a fantastic day. My computer is set up to autocorrect because I'm a terrible speller. So I'm going to go back up here and I'm just going to change it and it should stay. Right, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to highlight that, and I need to make it smaller because it needs to fit up here on this panel. I'm going to unlock. I'm going to stretch it. Stretch it down. Other thing that I have, as soon as I let go, it goes back to the way it was. It drives me crazy. Now I'm going to put a exclamation point. Now I'm going to take the writing and my top layer, and I'm going to align horizontal so my words are exactly in the middle. Oh, it looks like it might be a little bit too big, so let's make it a little bit smaller. Go back up again, horizontal, there we go.